Okay, man, I got another verse for you about how to become a strong man. And this is one of the first verses for me personally that God spoke to me from. I mean, I heard preaching, but one day God illuminated this verse for me, and I believe it'll help you to be a strong man, because we've been looking at the characteristics of a strong man and then now how to become strong. Now listen to this verse. This is for you, man. It says in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20, it says this: "He that walks with wise men will be wise, but a companion of fools will be destroyed." You say, what does that have to do with strength and being a strong man? I'll tell you what it means. When I read this, I'll never forget this. When I read this verse, and I was a very young Christian, and God, the Holy Spirit really unpacked this verse for me, all of a sudden I realized I become like who I hang around. I become like who I fellowship with. I become like the friends that I'm around. And this verse is powerful in terms of strength. Because, men, if you hang around weak men, if you hang around complaining men, if you hang around men that put everything off on their wife, if you hang around men that have no convictions and are wimpy, men they don't fix problems and they run from problems and things like that, if you hang around men like that, then that's the kind of man you're going to be. And I might say this, if you go, well, you're sort of explaining me. One of the ways of becoming a strong man is you get around strong men. I'll say this, I wasn't necessarily raised around a father, and I didn't have the greatest image of what manhood was. But one of the things I thank God for is that God put me in a setting, and He put me around some strong men. He put me around some men of conviction, some men of leadership, men that initiated things, men that wouldn't sit and complain all the time. He put me around some strong men. And you know what? I learned what strong men look like. And if I could say this, because Proverbs in another place says, don't hang around with an angry man, because you might learn his ways. Because once again, you become like who you hang around. Well, can I tell you, maybe the opposite of that angry man, if you hang around strong men, maybe that spirit, maybe that attitude will get off on you. So if you need strength, that's what God did in my life. God put me around some strong men. God put me around and connected me to some strong men in my life. And it helped put strength on the inside of me. Some of you might need to get around your pastor. You might need to get around one of the elders in your church, one of those strong men. Maybe you might feel intimidated by them, but go hang around them. See if you can go out to coffee with them. Get working around them at the church. And maybe some of their strength will rub off on you, and you'll find out what it looks like and what it feels like to act like a strong